Hi, I'm a possum and I find garbage, and I just watched that new Mortal Kombat movie that just came out. Here's the thing, I don't know anything about Mortal Kombat. I know it's a video game. It came out in the arcade in like the early 90s or something, caused a lot of controversy. They made some crappy movies, and in the 90s, I guess now this is a new Mortal Kombat movie. The only things I know about Mortal Kombat are like what I learned through cultural osmosis. I know about get over here and fatality, that crap. So I'm watching this and reviewing this movie as someone who's not a fan of Mortal Kombat. I don't have any kind of fanboy bias or anything. So there you go. I'm gonna be kind of referencing my tweets here. I live tweeted as I was watching it, just kind of writing down what I was observing. So I'm gonna kind of use those as my notes because I don't have a script. Anyway, spoilers, I guess. So it starts off in 1600s Japan, and some guy who I guess is supposed to be Sub-Zero kills this guy's wife and son. So he fights him and gets stabbed with a gardening tool. I don't know what this thing is. Like, his wife is just digging with this thing. It kind of looks like a knife. Like one of those, like, throwing knives that ninjas use. I don't know, she's just, like, digging with it. So I guess it's some kind of weird Japanese gardening tool or something. But then, like, when the guy fights Sub-Zero, he, like, grabs it and tries to, like, stab him with it, but then he ends up getting stabbed with it. He does that thing where he pulls the blade out of his wound, which is something you're never supposed to do because that's what causes bleeding, but they always do that in movies. So he pulls the thing out and then he dies, and then this like swirly red stuff appears around his body and he disappears. So then this guy, I guess it's Raiden from the games, he's got the conical hat and his eyes glow and he shoots lightning. He shows up and he goes in the house and he finds a baby. So he takes the baby, and then the baby is just never seen again for the rest of the movie. And then we cut to modern times where some guy named Cole, he's like some kind of MMA fighter, and he's in the locker room talking to his wife and his daughter's there. And there's like this, I guess his manager or his coach or something is there. And they're just talking about whatever. And then he has a fight, which he loses. And then this dude named Jax shows up and introduces himself. I guess Cole and his girlfriend and his daughter go to some restaurant and get ice cream or whatever, but then it starts snowing, even though it's the middle of July. And then it turns out Sub-Zero is there, and he's come to, I guess, kill him or something, because he has like this birthmark that means he's like the chosen one, but he doesn't know that means he's the chosen one yet. He just thinks it's a birthmark. So then Jax shows up in his SUV or his minivan or whatever it is, and they get in the car and they drive away. I guess Jax shows him that he has the same mark, which means he's also a chosen one or whatever. So then they're like driving around trying to escape Sub-Zero, who's making ice fly all over the place. But then Sub-Zero somehow ends up right in front of them. I guess he just teleports or something. So Jax tells Cole to take the car and escape while he fights him. Jax just goes into this building that's just there. I guess it's like some abandoned industrial building. So he goes in there to fight Sub-Zero because Sub-Zero is just in there for some reason. And they fight for a while. Like he like freezes his shotgun and breaks it. Because they did the same stupid thing in Justice League, where they freeze a piece of metal, and for some reason that makes it brittle so they can break it. Metal doesn't do that. That only works on things that are not already hard to begin with, like a rubber ball or a flower. If you froze a piece of metal and then hit it, it wouldn't shatter. Like if you go outside and, punch a metal pole in the middle of winter, does it break? No, it doesn't. Stop doing that in movies, it's stupid. So anyway, he breaks the shotgun, and I guess they fist fight for a while, or kung fu fight, whatever you want to call it. And then Sub-Zero freezes Jax's arms and breaks them off. And then he just leaves him there to die. He doesn't kill him, but he just kind of leaves him there, thinking he'll die, I guess. So Cole and his wife or girlfriend or whoever and his daughter go to their house, and I guess Cole says he's going to leave them there where they're safe while he goes to find somebody named Sonia Blade, who I guess Jax told him about at some point, I don't remember. But then we cut to some desert planet where some lady with a messed up mouth, like, she's got like big sharp teeth and her lips are all like cracked and like dark and stuff. Anyway, she goes up to this bad guy, I guess, I think his name is like Shung, something like that. I don't remember. But he's like the bad guy. And this is like in another dimension called the Outer World. And it's really lame, actually. It's just like a desert with some rocks, and there's like 5 people there. And I guess there's like a planet up in the sky, so you know it's like another world or something. But it just kind of looks like the desert. The bad guy tells her to send in the reptilian Sizoth, or whatever his name is, to go for some reason. I guess we cut back to Cole finding Sonya Blade's trailer, because she lives in a trailer, and somehow he knew where she was. And she lets him in and takes him into like this secret room or a secret underground bunker or something that she has in there, where she has all these like pictures like painted, like glued to the walls. And she starts like exposition dumping on him about the Mortal Kombat tournament and how there's like all these chosen ones who are like the champions of the Earth or something, the Earth realm as they call it. They gotta like win this tournament or the world's gonna end. And then suddenly there's just this Australian dude named Kano there that she's got like tied up, like in chains and stuff. Suddenly the lights go out, and then they all get attacked by this lizard thing. It's like invisible lizard guy. And I guess he like spits acid, or like he drools acid. So Kano uses the acid spit to like break out of the chains, and then he rips the lizard's heart out. And then he's like trying to leave. But apparently he knows how to find this place called Raiden's Temple, which Sonya wants to find because that's like where all the Mortal Kombat like champion guys go to train for the Mortal Kombat tournament or something. So she bribes him, says she'll give him like $3 million to take them there. So Kano just kind of believes her, and then, you know, when he's out of earshot, Cole's like, "You're really gonna give him $3 million?" And she's like, "No, I live in a trailer." It's like, okay, but you still have like this secret underground bunker. You know, you don't have any money. How'd you build that? So anyway, they all get on a plane and they just fly over the desert somewhere and jump out on parachutes, because for some reason the plane can't just... They have to like walk through the desert for like, I don't know, like a full day or something, because for some reason the plane couldn't just drop them off like right above the temple. Remember, Kano supposedly knows where it is. So they're wandering around the desert, and I guess they get in an argument and Sonya and Kano fight, and Sonya wins, but she refuses to kill him. I guess some guy named Liu Kang shows up, and just immediately he throws a fireball at them and it hits Kano. And then he's like, "I am not your enemy." Why'd you throw the fireball then? Is that just how you greet people? You meet these complete strangers, and the very first thing you do is you hurl a fireball at them. And then you say you're not their enemy. What's wrong with you? Is it just to show the audience that you can throw a fireball? So Liu Kang takes him to the temple, and Kano doesn't seem to recognize anything. Kano knew where the temple was, right? So I assumed he had been there before, but he doesn't seem to recognize anything there. He's like, "Oh, look at this cool painting of the guy ripping the dude's heart out." Or look at this secret door, that's cool. So I guess he wasn't there before? So how do you know it was there? So Liu Kang takes him into the temple, and they find Jax there, like in a room where he's getting treated by like witch doctors or something, like mystical healers or something, and they got him like laying on a stone slab because they don't have any like hospital beds or anything. So he's just laying on this like stone slab. He's got no arms. But like Liu Kang says to him, "Oh, don't worry, he'll be fine. The ice cauterized his wounds." The ice cauterized his wounds. Okay? So then they meet the lightning guy, Raiden, who tells them the Earth has lost 9 Mortal Kombat tournaments. So if they lose one more, then Shang Tsung, the bad guy, will enslave all the humans. Even so, Raiden refuses to train Cole and his friends because they're like, you know, undisciplined, arrogant, disorganized pricks. So even though the world is about to end, and he's desperate to find champions, and they all got the mark, well, except for Sonya, I'll get to that. They all got the mark that says they're chosen ones who can fight in the tournament. He refuses to train them because he's being picky. He's being picky even though he needs champions. So, but then Cole does the whole, like, "I can do it. Just let me prove myself," you know, the whole protagonist, the plucky protagonist thing. So then Ryan's like, "Okay, I guess." So then they train. So then the main bad guy, Sang Shun, whatever, shows up with all of his henchmen. They just show up in the temple, and they just, like, say, like, we're gonna get you guys, grr. And then Raiden is like, go away. So then they just go away. So Kano keeps saying all this stupid crap that's supposed to be funny, but it's not funny. And it's like the movie is trying to turn him into the comic relief, because, you know, every single movie now has to be like a Marvel movie, right? You can't just have like an action movie. You gotta have like the stupid, like, wisecracking sidekick character who says stupid things to be funny. You gotta shoehorn your stupid jokes into every, you know, situation. Just stop already, alright? Stop trying to be Marvel. It's bad enough when Marvel does it. Well, we don't need every other movie to do it. So then they meet this guy. He's got like a big metal sombrero looking thing, like a big wide brimmed hat that's like metal. It's got like a blade on the edge, and that's like his weapon. And then he takes them to like this arena inside the temple so they can like train. But then they tell Sonya Blade, no, you can't train. You can't fight in the Mortal Kombat tournament because you ain't one of us. You ain't got the mark. You're not one of the chosen ones. So she just has to kind of like piss off and hang out with Jax, who's still in like the witch doctor room. So Jax wakes up with robot arms, and then Cole fights Hat Guy, and then Kano fights Liu Kang, who repeatedly does the leg sweep thing to him, you know, trips him like 3 or 4 times or whatever, because it's supposed to be funny. I guess Cole asks Liu Kang how to unleash his magic powers, and Liu Kang tells him his backstory, that is like an orphan or something. He even cares. So then Cole fights Hat Guy again in the ring and loses, and then we cut to Sonya trying to like train Jax to get used to his new robot arms, because these like mystical healers or monks, whatever they're supposed to be, gave him robot arms. Then we cut to they all have like dinner or whatever, and Hat Guy calls Kano fat and stupid, and then the Hat Guy and Liu Kang lecture him about how it's bad to be angry. So he starts yelling at them, and then they get angry, even though they were just lecturing about, oh, you're not supposed to, it's bad to get angry. So they get angry, and you think a fight's about to break out, but then Kano just unexpectedly shoots a laser out of his eye. Not both eyes, just one eye. Here's the thing, I don't know anything about Mortal Kombat, but one of my Twitter followers explained that in the games, Kano, he's like a cyborg or something. He's got like, half his face is like metal, right? It's like a robot face on one half, and he could shoot lasers out of the robot eye. In the movie, he's not like that. His face he's kind of has like a few scratches on the right side of his face, but it's not like cyborg or anything. But he's able to shoot a laser out of his right eye just magically, I guess. So then they have Kano beat up Cole in the arena in an attempt to get him to unleash his magic, but it doesn't work, so they kind of just have him beat him up for no reason. So then Raiden tells Cole that he's the descendant of the guy who got killed at the beginning of the movie, and he went to hell and swore revenge on Sub-Zero. So I guess Cole, he gives up or whatever, because he ain't got magic powers. So he just gives up and goes back home. I think he went to a portal or something, but my attention was kind of fading in and out because I was like tweeting at the same time. So he goes back home. Then we cut to the outer world again, and some guy in a mask goes up to the main bad guy and says he wants to kill Kano. He's like, "Grr, I hate Kano so much. I want to kill him so bad. He did this and that to me. Now I'm a freak and I want to kill Kano. There's nothing I want more than to kill Kano." Then the masked guy goes to the temple, and he's like on the other side of the magical force field that they have protecting the temple. And he sees Kano, and he just argues with him. He's like, "Grr, you're a prick, Kano. You did this to me. We used to be buddies, but then you screwed me over, and now I have to wear this mask." And then he's like trying to convince him to join them. He's like, "Hey, Kano, come join the bad guys." So over the span of like 30 seconds, it's like, "There's nothing I want more than to kill Kano," to, "Grr, Kano, you're a prick," to, "Hey, Kano, come join our side." So then we cut to Cole at his house, and he sees this black smoky stuff in his house. And then we cut to Kano back at the temple, and he sees this dragon head thing, and he shoots his laser beam eye thing at it, and this turns off the magical force field around the temple, so then all the bad guys can come in at the same time. And then, I guess at the same time, the dude with 4 arms, Goro, shows up at Cole's house and tries to kill him for some reason. So then all these fights are breaking out at the same time, and it's like intercutting, back between the temple and Cole's house where all these fights are happening. I guess, at some point, Mouth Girl, she, like, stabs Sonya Blade with with this, like, Ninja Turtle sai thing. And she's about to, like, kill her, but then she, like, tastes her blood. Like, she realizes she's not one of the chosen ones. She doesn't have the mark, so she's like, your death is worth nothing, or it's not even worth it to kill you. So then she just leaves and doesn't even kill her. And for the rest of the movie, even though Sonya got stabbed in the shoulder with a sai, she's just totally fine. But then Kano shows up and I guess throws her, and then she ends up like trapped under a boulder. And then like Hat Guy fights this woman with like bat wings, and he uses his hat thing to like saw her in half. And then he says, flawless victory. And then all the stupid fanboys in the audience clapped their seal flippers together and honked. So then we cut back to Cole's house where Goro is about to kill Cole's girlfriend, or his daughter. And then he suddenly discovers his X-Man powers. He like magically makes this like magical golden armor appear around his body and starts fighting him. When he gets hit, he like glows red, and I guess he's like absorbing the energy or whatever, kind of like Black Panther or something. So when he gets hit, he builds up energy, he gets stronger or something. And he materializes these 2 like bladed tonfa things, like like the bad guy from the first Hellboy movie. Yeah, he's got like a pair of those now. And he just chops off Goro's hands and then stabs him through the eye and kills him. So yeah, if you're like one of these fanboys who's excited to see Goro in action, guess what? He's in the movie for like 5 minutes and then he just dies. Back at the temple, Jax finds Sonya trapped under a boulder and tries to lift it off her, but his robot arms are just too skinny and weak. But then, just out of nowhere, his arms magically, like literally magically, just get bigger. Like little metal plates just kind of spawn out of nowhere and like wrap around his robot arms. His robot arms become like super strong. So I guess he has magic robot arms now. So he's able to lift the boulder up over his head. And by the way, he still has like normal human legs and a normal human spinal column. So even though he has super strong arms, lifting the thing over his head would just crush him, right? Because he has normal legs. But he lifts the boulder and throws it, and I guess Sonya Blade is just totally fine, even though she was trapped under this 1,000-pound boulder. But then the bad guy comes in, the main bad guy, and he sucks out Hat Guy's soul. Then Raiden just teleports all the good guys to some place called the Void. It's all like white and lit up, even though there's no apparent light source. It's just like, it's all white, kind of like the Construct in the Matrix. So this is where they have like their second act sad moment, where it's like, oh no, this character died, all is lost, we're all so sad. But then, Cole, being the protagonist, he gives the we're a team speech, the hero speech, and then they gotta come up with a plan to go defeat the bad guys. But it's not really a plan, it's more like, okay, you go kill that guy, you go kill that guy, I'm gonna kill this guy, you kill that guy. That's their plan. So I guess some of them go to the bad guy's lair, and then like Sonya goes back to her trailer to find Kano, because for some reason Kano just went to her trailer. It might have been explained why, I don't remember, but for some reason she knows to find him at her trailer. So she goes to her trailer and then fights him there. She stabs Kano in the eye with a garden gnome and kills him. And then, at some point, Jax crushes some dude's head between his hands. Like, there's this bad guy who has, like, a big hammer. I don't even know if he has a name. But Jax just crushes his head. I guess Liu Kang, he's, like, fighting the mask guy. He kicks him into some quicksand. And then he makes a big dragon out of, like, fire. And the fire dragon just, like, eats him. And then Liu Kang is like, fatality. I guess Sonya somehow makes her way to the bad guy's lair. I guess they can all just teleport now or something. I don't remember. And she just shoots a purple laser out of her hand. Like, she's not one of the chosen ones. She doesn't have the mark. But I guess somehow, like, after fighting Kano, not during the fight, she doesn't, like, discover her powers during the fight with Kano. It's after she kills him, she just somehow gains the ability to shoot a purple laser out of her hands that she uses to kill Mouth Girl. So then Sub-Zero shows up and Cole fights him. And as Sub-Zero's about to kill him, I guess Scorpion suddenly shows up. And Scorpion is the guy who Sub-Zero killed at the beginning of the movie, who went to hell. And he just says, I come back from hell to kill you. And it's never explained, like, how he came back from hell or why he didn't do it sooner. Because remember, this is 400 years later. So in the past 400 years, he never came out of hell to fight Sub-Zero. So I don't know why he's doing it now or how he's doing it now, but he's just suddenly back from hell inexplicably to kill Sub-Zero. Like, him and Cole fight Sub-Zero. They do that, blood icicle thing from the trailer. I guess Scorpion breathes fire on Sub-Zero and kills him. And then Cole rescues his girlfriend and daughter, because at some point earlier, I guess Sub-Zero abducted his girlfriend and daughter and brought them to this place. And I don't know why. I might have not been paying attention because I was tweeting at the time, but I guess at some point, Sub-Zero kidnapped Cole's girlfriend and daughter. So I guess he's rescuing them now. So then, after all all the henchmen are dead, the bad guy, Son, whatever, shows up. He literally gives like a bad guy, "You've won this time, but I'll be back" speech. But then Raiden just tells him to go away, and he like zaps him with lightning. I guess teleports him away somewhere. So then Cole, I guess, goes back to the locker room that he was in at the beginning, where he was talking to like, the fight manager guy or whoever he was. Is like, "I'm going to Hollywood," and then the camera kind of pans over to reveal a movie poster on the wall. It says the name Johnny Cage, who I guess is another Mortal Kombat character. And then the movie just ends. And then during the credits, they play this ridiculous dubstep song. And when I say dubstep, I don't mean like generic techno song. I mean, it's literally like a dubstep song. It's like with the audio clips from the game, like in the year 2021. And by the way, there's no post-credits sequence, so you don't have to waste your time, sitting through the credits. So, I guess somebody on Twitter asked me, are the fights at least good? And I'm like, I guess. If you like that, like, wire fu crap. But it's like, there's like a million other movies that have fight scenes and action scenes and stuff that are equally as good or better. So there's nothing to be gained. This movie offers nothing of value, right? There's no reason to watch this movie unless you're like just the biggest Mortal Kombat fanboy and you just want to hear Liu Kang say fatality or something, right? There's no other reason to watch this movie. It sucks, okay? So, I don't know, like, comment, subscribe, support me on Patreon, and leave a comment because it's good for my, the algorithm likes it. Bye.